Cool, brilliant. So, a bit different. So, coming to the end of the year, we have our end of year celebrations always in the London one, not per group, so we all get together. But just a reminder, I thought we'd just do something different. So just a reminder of who's done Known and Been Knowns this year, and what I want to kind of get moving into 2018. It's not my group. It's yes, Jill and Erkan created this thing, but it's within the community that are going to shape it. And so I really want to get a little bit as well from what you guys and girls want to see from a Known Be Known. It's not for us to go, well, this is a known and this is what you should be doing if you're doing a Known Be Known, and this is what you should be sharing, because it might not be what the community want to hear and be seen. So I want to get your thoughts on that. But anyone remember who started off in January? No. I remember? One of my favourite ones. They're all my favourite. I say that, but Angela. Before you buggered off to New Zealand, you did the Power Choice.
That was years ago.
That Callum was here for. That has really, really helped him with how he reacts to online people. So it experience of that, where these no-knowns have an effect that just not in the room on that day. So I know a lot of you were in the room, but I think December and January, my 13-year-old son Callum was here. He's homeschooled, so he's not in the thing, but he's set up very much in a online community, if you like. He's got these free screens, and he's set up as what he calls it. I'm sure everyone know what we're all talking about, but he's got these screens and everything going on, and his iPhone and his everything going on, But one of the things is, there's cyberbullying, or how people react online. It's very easy for what they call keyboard warriors or whatever, just to say bad things, and being 13 as well, and starting puberty. So Andrew did one about power of choice, about how you can react, but then you can choose afterwards straight away. He was here for that, and even though he didn't feel he took anything in at the time, he thought he was just again doing work for Dad because getting told what to do. That's become a little mantra for him and for us, that when he gets a bit upset with someone reacting, all I say to him is, do you remember, you can choose. Remember the crazy lady at the front of the room said? No, I don't yeah. But you can choose. You can choose how you react. It is, yeah. But that was brilliant. So February was okay. Me, Stuart Swindle back in March. On the back of the London one as well. Come out with a lot of your values come out of that, didn't they? But with the West Ham days and stuff, and that area. Really interesting. Barry, back in April. Seemed long ago actually, didn't it? That? Last time I saw him. No. And amazing, that was again sharing, your childhood and stuff like that. It was incredible. And then we had Kay, that had us all in tears in May. No, funny, isn't it? How, and good example with Kay, about really opening up about things that, so much so that I guess we weren't allowed to video that one. So we video these, and they go into an online forum now, which is just for the members. So they don't go out on open. The only one that goes out in the open is when the values that we share. But we weren't even allowed to video Kay's because of some of the stuff that she was sharing. But it's incredible that if you think about it, the Known Be Knowns, that you've got a platform where you've got the opportunity to share that. And a bit like mine back in November 2015 at Hertford, some time ago. Cool. My original one, it's a real coveted area? No, a real honoured space. You should be honoured that you've got this space to share with what you want to share. Which is why I want to kind of get into about actually what you guys want to see people sharing, because that's important. Then we had Stuart in June, elastic bands, and on all that. And the thing about with the finance company, wasn't it? The ones with the third world stuff that he talks about. Really interesting stuff, yeah. Gavin's in July, wasn't here? But Gavin's was another one, a lot of stuff, you know, it kind of come out with. He's really good at talking, Gavin, isn't he? And really good at like presenting himself and being a presence. And he was incredibly nervous about sharing in front of us and stuff. Yeah, and share some stuff that he hadn't shared before, you know. So, and then we had the Love Maestro. I did put initially, and I thought, I bet I just because it would be an in-joke, but I almost put Tigger, and that was next to that, if people remember. On his bouncy, and then obviously last month we had Linda saying the stuff. So, so really, what made me look at that? When you look at that, you think the ones that have been here for most of them, or all of them, some of us, and any that you've seen, you think actually how much people are sharing with you. You know, and it shouldn't be a flippant thing. So, you know, I get to do a know and I just do a presentation. It's not like doing a 10 minutes at BNI or 30 minutes somewhere. You know, a present where you're kind of got that thing in basically sort of kind of selling your business a little bit in you and them other things. It's really about opening up, if you like, but also really what we've had is not only people just opening up about their personal stories and that, but the message. I mean, what is your message? You had powers of choice as well, don't you, with yours?
I was going to say, we started with choice and we ended with choice.
Yeah. Funny how it goes round, isn't it? And within that, there's a lot of choices people have made, you know, got them to him. But it's...
What's really interesting, I find, is that when I've seen all of those, and you sometimes think that your life story, you've had it tough somewhere along the line, whether you were a kid and you were bullied, or whether you had a broken heart when you were 16, or, you know, your dad left home, or whatever it was, and you feel a bit sorry for yourself. Every single one of those people have had incredible heartache, haven't they, and have come out the other end.
Yeah.
And they were brave enough to share that with us, and brave enough to acknowledge the lessons that they've learned as a result of what they've been through, and how they came out the other end. So even if you feel like you're sitting there going, nobody understands me, well, apart from him, because he's been through something. And you can identify with lots of different areas of their life. And it kind of helps you to be stronger because you know you're not alone.
And thank you, Jill. And anyone that's on that list in the room, so I'll pick on someone. Stuart, I'm going to pick on first of all. What about your perspective from delivering a known be known? What did you get out of it?
You know, I stood up there and delivered stuff that I don't deliver elsewhere. You know, because I'm an ex-accountant, I'm now doing kind of coaching and all the rest of it, and I was up there talking about God and things like that, or that bit of God inside each and every one of us. So it's a safe space for, you know, sharing the things that are important to you. But actually, I'll go back to Angela again, because I didn't see it here, but I saw it in London, and that whole concept of choices is genius. So that wove into what I presented in this. Yeah, it's awesome. I recommend it to everybody. It's an opportunity to step up and just be yourself.
Yeah. I think, Angela, going back to your one, which kind of had to talk you into quite a bit for a few months. I think you did some coaching with Jill in between to sort of prepare you. And I remember you saying to me after you didn't, you was like, is that all right? Was that okay? Was that all right? But what's it mean to you to hear these things now that you're hearing, you know, where you've affected people? And
it is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It's nice to know in some kind of strange way that what I say and what comes out, other people understand. Because sometimes you just think, oh, I'm just chatting away to myself, and I've got my own weird ideas and weird thoughts. Actually, it resonates with people. And how that your son, I just love that. I love that he's kind of gone, okay, I'm going to choose not to react. And choose to respond. It's lovely. It's just nice to know that what goes on in my head makes sense to other people. That's something as well. I think that's what I mean.
Yeah, even if it doesn't make sense to you.
It is a power of it.
Most quoted collaborator, you know that. You're doing a little book, but I'm doing a little book now. Angela quotes.
And sure, you're one because you kind of to be coerced a little bit, didn't you? Into
yeah, it was. Well, I resonate with what you say. I mean, it's a lot.
an opportunity for you to truly be who you are, and I think there's a certain feeling of breaking out of the identity, where you're at that time, and just having trust. But it's the space that enables you to do that, the non-judgment within the room. And that's a pretty special place to be.
Good. Does anyone on that list want to share before we go to the next bit?
Can I ask a question?
You can.
Did anybody that presented feel that as a result of that presentation that they learned something from it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think taking the time out to put things into order, particularly with the challenge over time perception that I had, and it's got a lot better over this year. That was really therapeutic for me to do that, and sort of put some of my personal history into perspective.
Yeah, I got along.
You don't know what you don't know. You don't know. And when you actually sit down and do something like that, it is a golden opportunity to reflect and see. And what I think as well is the way people respond, because you're standing up there opening your heart out to people and sharing stuff about yourself. And that's very, very brave to do that in any stretch of the imagination. Because it's all very well going 10 minutes at BNI, oh, I'm nervous in front of an audience, but you're talking about your stuff for 10 minutes and it's your business and that's all you're talking about, and you're showing off a bit and you're selling a lot. So this was about, no, you stand up there and you open your heart and you tell everyone why you are the person you are today. And I think what's lovely is when you hear what other people thought at the end of the meeting. Oh yeah, I got this from your talk. Oh yeah, when you said that bit, that was amazing. I've written that down, and because you said that, I'm going to go and do that. If, you know, it's an opportunity, a massive opportunity to learn for the individual as well as for the people in the room. That's why we call it Know and Be Known. It's a gift to the person at the front of the room, and it's a gift to the audience. And where else do you have that chance to do that?
I remember my first one in November, I used it as a therapy session, really. Just a lot of that stuff I hadn't said out loud, you know.
Get the couch out.
Yeah, I thought it was an environment where I could share that stuff, knowing that, you know, lack of judgment in a room where it's going to be empowering.
I think there is judgment, but there's judgment pulling for you.
Yeah.
It's a good space to be, because people want you so badly to succeed that they're willing you to do well. So the judgment is like, well, it might not have been great that bit, but that bit was amazing, and that's what they want. They're pulling for. They're finding the goodness in everything that you say.
I think it builds trust, doesn't it? And you need to have trust to stand there and say those things.
Yes.
And you feel that trust is rewarded because of the response you get.
Exactly.
And the feedback, positive or negative, is just feedback. It's helpful either way.
Exactly. Exactly. And use it as such.
Okay.
So, I mean, I've done Know and Be Known twice, once in London and once in Hertford. Both times.
I've got your name penciled in for Essex, by the way. I've got you penciled in for next year.
And at both times, it's interesting. There was an initial I'll do it, and then as it crept up, there's an obligation to not hide anything.
That's interesting.
That's how I felt anyway. So, and it was an amazing experience. There's something that Angela just triggered in me was the fact that there is an element of, if I say what I truly believe and governs my inner soul, which I've never expressed to anyone, will everyone understand me? Will it be crazy? And you get this warmth that comes back from the room. And I just realised, actually, I did a Known and Be Known in front of a client who I hadn't known on Monday night. I didn't think of it at the time. But there was a guy who I met on LinkedIn, travelling around the world, and we said, oh, I'm in London, let's meet up. And it was going to be a Tuesday afternoon and Monday evening, so I trekked up to London, didn't know where it was. So, who is this guy? I'm meeting him in a hotel. I went and had an Italian meal, and it was exactly like I was doing my own Known and Be Known in front of him. So I was sharing everything, how I thought. And for me, I'm never that wouldn't use opinionated, but I don't really share stuff in front of me that may be a bit weird. But it's what I think. You know, I think everyone has got weird stuff, and that's the beauty of this place. And it's not, it's weird as in beautiful, weird, unique. That's what I said. And I was amazed at the end of it. I was no business, but he wants to meet again. So the fact that I took a risk, and one of the things I think with big collaboration is lead with your heart. If the person does business, you know it'll be long. So I took a risk. Next day, so let's carry on talking when I'm next back in London. And that's a guy who flies the world, is very wealthy, and has his choice of whatever projects. And I didn't, until today, reflect that's what I did, and that's the result I got from someone who is wealthy enough to invest in any project that I might have to.
Cool. I think what's fascinating is that it's interesting, isn't it? What we think is weird actually is often, we often see throughout human nature. I remember A saying that someone once said to me, which was, human beings are uniquely the same. And I think there's something very special about that. Because yes, we have our own quirks, but what runs at the heart of all that is the same for each of us. And actually I think there's probably not much nowadays, I think, and perhaps that comes with some wisdom, that you see that actually is that weird. Even perhaps the worst behaviour in society, there's something about that behaviour that when you actually get to know what's at the heart of it, you can actually understand.
I remember about 3 years ago, I met a guy at a networking event, and I said to Erkan, I wasn't going to invite him to be a collaboration because he was a bit weird. And Erkan looked at me and went, Jill, you're weird. Okay, so he came.
Yeah.
He didn't join, but he introduced us to some amazing people. And he was 100% bonkers, but he was brilliant. But we're all weird.
Okay, a little bit more so than you. And Beige, you were just off that list actually, because you were end of 2016, your one. But I remember your one, you shared some stuff really you hadn't shared before in Known and Be Known, have you? And went through your timeline, didn't you, on your...
Oh, okay, that one.
Yeah. That was the last one you did here.
Yeah.
That was
last
July.
December, yeah.
That was July, wasn't it? Because it was the
July,
first one I
Gavin.
came to.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember
okay.
it was the bell, it was the first one.
October. I've got the list somewhere. And, so, yeah.
Time flies, basically.
Yeah. Due for another one, Beige.
See birds.
Yeah. So what your one then? Because you did it differently than what I've seen you do one before. It's in a couple of years before in London and Hertford. You did that a bit differently here.
Yeah, I think the one that you're talking about, people have a different hearing of, if you see someone in the business context, if someone says describe that person, you describe them in terms of your experience in that environment. And I think on that known one, I basically listed all the labels that people have given me.
It was long, wasn't it? It was a couple of...
Friend, enemy, mama, all these things, and it's like when someone labels you with that, you subconsciously start making a picture of that person, so your perspective is warped. So I think what I talked about that being known is you don't really know someone really until you see every perspective of inside and out, and then you realise that we're all the same.
And I think you won the funniest one, didn't you? You won the comedy award for us. There was some humour in there as well, wasn't there? Right, so just quickly, and we're privileged today as well because we've got the host of our Surrey group in here, Dave. So, when's the last time you come to Essex, Dave?
Long time ago.
But, well, it's quite fitting because you did the first proper Known Be Known in Essex. So it's quite fitting that you're here today. But it's been good to get your perspective of this as well, Dave, from what you've seen at Surrey. But what do we want to... I'm not label like half an hour on this, we're literally going to spend about 10 minutes on this, but kind of... And I get the guess, obviously, you're kind of hearing this and you're thinking, wow, there's some weird stuff going on, and what these people are talking about. But But there's something that kind of suggests as well that if you think you're in a community where it's an empowering, it's about transformational breakthroughs happening, it's going to be empowering you to get to wherever you want to be and who you want to be and how you want to live in the world and how you want to show up, then, you know, what would you want to see as well? Think about what you would want to see from someone standing at the front of the room in this community. But members, well, anyone want to sort of pitch in about what they want to see from Gone?
The Genius talk that was, I think, last month about getting through the blocks.
Resilience to Colin, yeah.
That, for individuals, would be amazing, so what they personally did. Because everyone's had a hard time, they've done specific practice to get through it.
Yeah. So how they got through the blocks is...
Yeah, the actual... that part. Because that was quite fascinating hearing that particular process.
It's where the inspiration you get from it is in someone bearing their soul about something that is a real barrier.
So,
and overcoming it and knowing that, because you want to know what makes that person who they are today. It's the combination of all of the challenges they faced and overcome.
Okay. But you sitting there listening to it, is your feel you want to be inspired by it?
Be inspired.
Because it's okay to have expectations of what you expect from someone being at the front of the room. I think that's important. But being inspired.
What's the question? Like that. No, what's the question?
Is what you want to see from people in the room. So not necessarily like bullet pointed, but you come and see people know, but you don't know. What do you want to expect to see? And you know, because,
Realism.
What did you say?
Realism.
Realism. Oh, wait a second. Okay. I think we covered that quite a bit in this. I can't spell realism. Is that it? Oh.
I think for me, Scott, it's largely what we talk about. It's about seeing them as a human being, not a human doing. It's,
There's a quote for you.
As a real person, an individual, which, is largely what a lot of people do, because they share things here that they wouldn't normally share elsewhere. And I think, as Becky said, yes, in then sharing a story of where they've come from and what they've been doing, and then what has helped them to overcome those challenges.
And that's important, because the reason why I wanted to open up this light is because we could easily get in the trap of just someone sharing their life story. And what Jill said, actually, there is something why we're all like-minded, because we have all got similar stories, and then that's where we're in the community. You get powerful because it's just not happened to you; it is happened to people, and come through it, and at all different levels through it. So we can get the support that we need at certain points from people, because at different levels of that. But rather than it just being people sharing a good story, I think it's having that maybe like that message that
This is what helped me.
Yeah.
This is what stopped me in my tracks. This is what moved me on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's that understanding that journey of how I got to be where I am now, and not from the doing point of view. I left school with 5 GCSEs and I did this and I did this and then I went on to that job and we've had those kind of know and be known. It's what made you who you are today. And I think it's Carol says that she was born 5 years ago. And that's where she starts her story from. The rest, as far as she's concerned, is irrelevant. The power of what she's saying started 5 years ago. So we've got to get her to do it now, So understanding what you're saying to the room is relevant to your being today. And it might be a sad story that you had, or it might be, elation, but it's who you are being at the front of the room and why you're impassioned about that. And that's what I think will have a massive impact on people if you focus on that. We can get the periphery stuff, which is fine, but don't focus on the A to B or the A to Z. Focus on how you became who you are in front of them, and also where you're going, what you see as your mission in life, what you see as your legacy that you want to leave. And it's perfectly a brilliant idea to ask the room for support in that. If you've only come so far and you maybe got stuck, or you come so far and you're really proud of it and show off about it. So the know and be known is about us knowing you in your heart and you giving something to the community. So working as well on the two sides of it. This is who I am, and this is why I am who I am, and this is what I believe in, and this is my being, and this is my gift to you. So that's the kind of double-edged sword that we want to really get to know you. And it might be you tell us an awful sad story that's happened, and that's great because we'll connect with that. But it doesn't have to be that way. But what got you to who you're being today? And maybe where's your next step? And we all have our next step that we want to get up to. And we all have a glass ceiling we want to break through. And we might need help to do it. You might know exactly where you're going. And yeah, I can talk about great.
I mean, well, it's what we necessarily don't want is a competition of who's had the shittest life, because, you know, it's not the most inspiring, probably. But Dave, I mean, you've obviously seen loads, and from a Surrey point of view as well, you know, giving people that coveted space at the front of the room. You know, what's your view? What do you want to see people deliver? And
I think for me it's the known-knowns that really work well, are where people are not just sharing their story, but they're giving something of their genius back to the room. So it's that bit about saying that here's some stuff that I know, go away and use it. And for some of us it's related to what we do to earn money during the week. But that's also about our being as well. And for other people, it's not about necessarily what their job is, it's about something they're just passionate about. And it's always got to be of value to the room. So it's always, for me, it's going to be something that will have a ripple effect. So, as you know, for us in the room, it goes out and it doesn't just affect us, it affects the people that we interact with.
And a good illustration of that, and she hasn't done it here yet, but when Joyce did her talk at Hertford, put her down for it. A very, very simple thing. At the end of the meeting, she gave everybody a card that had something different on it, and she didn't give it to them. They chose the card, and everyone went, "Oh, this is so relevant to me! Oh my goodness!" And even now, people say to me, they've got it in their purse, they've got it in their phone, and they really refer to that.
And again, the ripple effect. I've still got mine, and also the ripple effect. Claudia did it as well in Surrey, didn't she? She did it. She said she saw, you know, when you're one, and she did it. Again, it's impacting other people. So many other people we don't know they're doing it because Claudia's doing it in the environment, you know. So that's it.
Are we in danger of blurring the boundaries between the genius slot and the known be known with last?
I don't think so. I think the known be known will always have a personal element to it because of who's delivering it. The genius slots, you know, will always be not so much of as a prerequisite, you know, what you're going to get from it. They're shorter.
Should be a bit riskier.
Yeah.
Pushing your boundaries. You should be really
And
trying
I think
something out.
challenging is because we're like, you know, like that Dave's going to do today, you know, it's sort of challenging, but in turn, you know, you've got to be challenged to be empowered, you know. And also, you know, like Colin's one, I know you missed it, but he did one about resilience, which was just, you know, incredible, you know, resistance, sorry, yeah. Sorry. You know, and it was just incredible, and it was, got us to try and think what, you know, differently about things, and it was incredible. So, I think, sorry, I think what it will do is, I think, like this, what you sort of kind of sharing is what you want to see and what you want to get from it will actually help push the genius spots to another level as well, because they'll have to be to a different level to be what they are.
I think so many people have actually spoken about what I would term as their epiphanies.
Yeah.
Sarah going out into the wilderness in America, and I was just sort of blown away with the transformational events that people have had in their lives.
Yeah.
And that's when people shared those transformational events. Then that's really resonated with the room.
Actually, and you think that was 2 years ago, that, by the way? So,
really?
yeah.
And you get new respect for the person as well, doesn't it?
I think that one of the things that I sense has been described actually in just delivering the known be known is that there's some transformation in delivering that.
No, yeah, absolutely.
What I think would be nice is to capture in a sense who someone is being before they even start writing the known be known. And then to capture that after as well. And the difference that's perhaps come about from that. And I think you need to allow a little bit of time for from the delivery of the known be known to then capture what's happened. But I think not just capture it for that person, but also capture it from their perspective about how that's rippling out into the world and what impact they think that's having. Because I think part of that exercise of going through the known be known is it's a reframe of the sort of perspective that you have about the impact that you have in the sort of world. And it would be nice to then recapture how you then see it differently thereafter.
That's why it's nice seeing the videos, isn't it? So I don't know if all of you realise, but as a collaborators, you can go into the collaborator forum on the website and get access to all of the known be knowns that have been there. It's about 150 or something. And to watch your known be known when you first came and did the very first one, and then maybe you've done 2 or maybe 3, and then you look at the third one. I mean, the difference between Angela's done 3 now, and the difference between the first one, when she was little quaking mass, bless her, but hidden very well. I wouldn't think anybody else would have seen that but me, because I knew what you were going through. And then see you when you did it for the last time here, and I said to you afterwards, you own the room. And you were so excited because you loved it, as opposed to the first time when you think, I think I might go and throw up. You know, that was a huge transformation. If you watch those 3 videos, you can see for yourself. Andrew Balder was saying the other day, wasn't he, how much he's grown as a, just being in front of the room, having that opportunity to be at the front of the room. So the fact we've got the videos, you can see for yourself your own transformation. But also, what I really like is that Ercan takes people out of the room in Hertford and London. Whoever's done the known be known, and does a 5-minute debrief kind of thing. And the energy is still flowing because they've had such a good time, and I've just done that. Oh my goodness! And you can see that energy in that space. So I think you're right. I think seeing that growth is phenomenal. I think we'll be able to do that if we continue with the videos. I think it's going to be quite clear.
Well, the next slot bit we're going to do in a minute might help towards that as well. In beige, you've seen more than anyone. So, are you bored of them yet, or you still get inspired by them? Is there things you see from? Well, you've seen the whole journey then from what, almost 4 years ago, I suppose, isn't it? Or is there anything you picked out you think you would want to, an expectation when people were up here?
When when that was first conceived, the original section, it was very much about, this is my, their delivery, their stuff, their business thing. It's evolved in terms of, like I said, a bit more personal, a bit more raw. I think there's an opportunity where people are still a little bit guarded, although there is an openness there, and naturally, because you've got to be, you don't want to reveal everything. But I think the evolution of the known section could be more around what they can take about how others have seen them transform. It's like, okay, this is what I've seen in myself, but like what Jill said about Angela just now, that would be a good insight about what do others, because sometimes it's very hard to give yourself, to really understand how much you've moved on. Because we're bigger than self-critic. We've got several other people saying, okay, this is how I've seen you develop and grow. This is how I've seen you actually go backwards. It's all very well, and delivered in a way where they empower the individual. It's up here. So an opportunity where the known section from other people saying, yeah, I've seen 3 or 4 like Julie said, but this is what we really see. And also, when that is delivered, that the person receives it. Because it's very, especially in this British culture, we don't like to receive praise and acknowledge, oh no, don't be silly, I'm not that good. Right, not that
Take it.
And accept that you are good. Everything you don't.
Can I just Jill said it, but you can write it down.
Okay, sorry.
I think it's important to get people's vision. Because that's the only way you can collaborate and you can engage with.
Thank you very much. I say it's your community, so we're not on a break yet.
More unto himself.
So that's a bit different, but this is to end the year and just really, and that's incredibly valuable to get your insights and again, like you said, so one of the bits we're going to go into now is around sharing success. Actually, so we've got a little slot, but actually that we don't do within the groups is share the success. We want these little conversations elsewhere and things like that. Angela, not knowing what a success she's created and outside and the ripples effect, which is hugely inspiring, hugely powerful for people, because when you get, I set out that in November 2015, I wanted to change the know and be knowns, and I was a bit like Bejo, they were very business orientated. I remember sitting one before mine that was all about websites, and I was sitting there thinking, I want to know, I can go to this guy's website and know about that, rather than the people. And I wanted to change it in some way and shared a lot of personal stuff that I'd never shared before, which can really be helpful. But that has set me on a journey. Hey, Jerry. So that has set me on a journey and a path that has allowed me to grow within this community, and with all of you amazing people supporting that as well. From, some people have been here on the journey, Simon, one of them, you see me from that quivering wreck, if you like, on that journey, and helped me with the growth, with that. And what we're not good at, I don't think, within the actual groups, is actually sharing the success and them impactful things that we have. So much so that when we did select that one, the genius slot, was you Rebecca in that one? I don't know if you was here. You was, wasn't you? Yeah, you was. When I was very open about everyone in the room, and we got very tearful and. You was, I remember you was here, because I think you was there about a third month or something like you was here. But we don't do that enough, I don't think, within the community around the things. So this is the opportunity. Simon's going to get the ball rolling for us. So he's going to come up here, and then what I want to do is give you an opportunity. This is the opportunity. If you want to share something within the community, that conversation you've had outside, something that's happened within, something that's someone said and it's empowered you to do something and made you grow, is, be happy just to share that. We don't want loads of detail, Simon, just a minute or so, right? But just to share that success. So if you can get a ball rolling, and it's only me and Simon were having a conversation with yesterday, Randy's at Toucan Towers. Toucan Towers, absolutely. My wife knows about Toucan Towers. I'm just popping into Toucan Towers on the way back. But he said that, and I said to him today, do you mind sharing that in the community? I think that's a perfect example of.
No, I'm very, very, very happy to. Yeah. It's not something that's specific, but it's everything to do with bee collaboration. I blame Jill for getting me into this.
You're welcome.
I thank you. No, she said, come along and meet this chap. And I went on to Harlow and I met Erka, and I thought, he's on a different wavelength, and there are some values. I didn't join straight away because I didn't quite understand it. But I had a long period in hospital, and I sort of reflected on life and everything. And all of a sudden, it seemed the right time to come along to Bee Collaboration. And I took on. I've met a raft of different people that have all imparted something different, or I've managed a takeaway, as we call it here. Hack, Scott, yourself, and of course Ercan, Glenn Williamson on clarity on business process is phenomenal. And so I did Be Inspired, and then that opened my mind up even further. And this all of a sudden I realised, without me saying I'm going to go on a transformational journey, which is whatever, I actually realised I've been on one. And I came out the end thinking, right, the world's got more to offer me, and rather than me following what the world's telling me or whatever, I thought, no, now I'm going to put out into the world who I want to be, what I want. Not that I have any complaints about my past life. I did Linda's thing today. I realised I'm moderately content. I'm even happy with the current Mrs. Thomas. But I thought, let's.
We'll send it that bit.
let's let's take it a bit further. And I worked with Urcan for 3 months, and that was a further realignment. And I ended up realigning myself and my business, and putting out there what I want from the world in the nicest possible way. And I've got more customers than ever, and yet I'm so relaxed. I'm not stressed. The work that the world's delivered, but I wouldn't have actually gone on this journey. I wouldn't have made the changes, and probably wouldn't have made the choices had I not absorbed all the influence from all of you good people. So that's been big collaboration for me. So it's a personal journey. It's personal growth. My business has benefited from it. I think I'm probably a happier guy around the house, and I'm probably helping my kids with knowledge that I've got now that I probably wouldn't have had a couple of years ago. So all in all, it ticks a lot of boxes. So it's not sales pitch for big collaboration, but
no, so showing your success with it. So this can be valuable.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate. You can have your comfort blanket now. That's his comfort blanket. And I just want to share a personal one as well, actually. It's a conversation I had the other day, which is already proving quite powerful. And I think this is where we're in a community of people that care about you. I think that's the biggest thing for me. Actually, people actually care, about you and want to help you or in some way. And even when they challenge you and you don't think so, then it comes out, they care, And at the last Hertford meeting, I said something that grated Urcan a little bit. Urcan said something back which grated me a little bit, and I was quite defensive. Not in a way where it kind of made me feel, I don't want to talk to Urcan and all that, because it didn't affect anything. He's got a lot of tokens in the cat, if you like, of all the great stuff he's done. And it didn't affect me a big way, but then I knew I had to have a conversation with Urcan at some point. Jill kept saying, have you had a conversation with Urcan? Yeah, I said, no, we'll do. And I did do, and it's kind of just having that conversation that and without going into loads of detail, I felt belittled, but what Urcan did was help me understand why I felt belittled. And from that, and a conversation then with Stuart, so kind of all within the Big Collaboration family, it's left me kind of now that I've been able to acknowledge me being belittled and actually where that's coming from. And I didn't share it with Urcan, in that video I might share it with him in a thing, but I shared it with Stuart about when he said that I actually had an image of something that happened to me years and years ago. And it really kind of, but it was powerful to know that, And then if you don't mind me sharing, me and Beju, I've been a bit unfair to Beju in terms of receiving, some empowering stuff, and I had to address that. So it's already shaping up where it's when you get people, you kind of see people and about other people and other things, and even I've seen it when I'm going somewhere tomorrow and there's someone there that really does kind of, you don't want to be around. But I'm actually kind of not bothered by it now, I haven't thought about it. And to the point where someone said to me yesterday, the thing is going to be there, and I went, yeah, it don't bother me. So that, so there's, for me, a real success, is kind of that however much I feel I've got out of it in my journey, I'm always going to be growing within it, and I'm only going to grow within this environment. So, and I'm quite happy to share that within this environment. And I'm sure there's lots of other stuff that I'll learn away, but it's about that growth in it, Does anyone else? I'm conscious of the time. No, I don't acknowledge that. Anyone else want to share anything before I get there? Oh, Jerry, late to the party, but straight in. Come at the front. Come here. Yeah.
Sorry I'm late. It's all part of it, really. I'd just like to say, I would actually, I've been thinking for a while, I would like to say thank you for the collaboration. And especially Urcan as well, because when I first met Urcan, I've been struggling in business for about 8 years, and to be honest, I was thinking about closing the door. It hadn't worked for me, and it was just one struggle after another. But since I've joined the Big Collaboration and had Urcan's input, it's kind of just turned around 180 degrees, and so we've got loads of customers, got lots of work coming in. And I think it's all the learnings, and just even the signpostings towards learnings, to say, go and look at that, read that audio, listen to that audio book, find out about that, have a look at this, and then the discussions, you know, I have in the groups with some of the business coaches and everything, it's taken it. So now, whereas before I was always like, every other month coming, is there enough money? Will I meet the VAT bill? What am I doing wrong? Why are these customers not happy? I don't think about that anymore. No, I don't think about it. I'm like, how do I fit it all in the, you know, in my day? So I'd like to say thank you to Jill and Ercan and to everyone in the big collaboration for that. And Scott and everyone else.
Thank you. Good job, man. That's it. Well done.
Can I just say though that Jerry is performing as a true collaborator in that he is pulling for his own success. The information and the knowledge is out there, but you've got to sort it out, and you're learning. So somebody can send you an audio, and you go, oh, I haven't got time for that, I've got to go and sort out my VAT return. But no, you've listened to it, you've learned, you've taken things on board. So you are pulling for your own success, as well as the people in the community that want you to be successful. And I think we all have to take our own responsibility for that. There's an awful lot of knowledge out here, and if we don't go and ask for help, and we don't take some of it on board, then we're our own worst enemy. So well done, Jerry, for turning this around. Brilliant.
Has anyone got a burning desire to share? No, we're going to get to the break. But what I will encourage you, wherever you are, what group, Hertford, London, Surrey, share these things because it's inspiring to others. You know, it really is. What Simon shared with us is, you know, me and Simon, true to his word, we relaxed. We were sitting in his toucan tails in the front room yesterday, weren't we, having a cup of tea. The dog's licking my hand, Toby licking my hand to death. You know, and we were both talking about how busy we are and new clients and stuff like that, yet we were relaxed having a conversation, you know, around successes, so, and talking about future ventures and stuff like that. So, you know, don't be afraid to share these little conversations within the community, and even if you're a group and say, like, Dave, I'm at Surrey, I want to share this to the group, because you'll inspire people within the group, and inspire people to have little conversations with each other. Like, you know, that Beiju's inspired me today and you know, helped me deal with something. So, you know, it's them little things that's going to empower you and take you to another level and continue to grow. So on that note, tea and biscuits. Ben, you're allowed as many as you like, right? Don't listen to your mummy. You're in a safe environment. You can listen for the cackle when you return, but toilets for anyone guess? The toilets are just out there to the right. You see the men's and the women's are there.